walking and pacing. I've already done over 5 miles today. I'm going to be closing it in, doing a couple more miles, maybe about 7 miles. And this is literally what we do is instead of taking a day off, instead of resting, we just start walking. We start pacing. Earlier in the day, I was doing a little jogging. I do some, lateral stepping, things like that. I walk backwards. Don't want to fall on my ass and make a fool of myself, but I'm good at that. The whole point to this is depletion, right? It's to bottom out the glycogen depletion stage. And what you're going to end up, what's hard for people is you're going to end up feeling very flat and like you have no muscle there. Like, the hardest thing about depleting is getting to that point where you've been training so hard and it seems like you've gotten nothing done. Once you look in the mirror, you can't see any definition. And that's a big sign of the times because people think that they can just go on these low-carb diets and it answers everything. But you're essentially just looking at, looks like Starlink, the meme coin, has been performing pretty well today. I think that's one to keep an eye on. Kin is another one, and there's a few others, but we don't do that here. We got Ben Armstrong drawing their watch. That's entertaining in itself, but wow, yeah. So, speaking of narcissists, it's really not advantageous to you to always look at where you're at, looking in the mirror, trying to look like you're stepping, off the magazine cover. It's during that moment that you carbo load, and that you pick the right carbs, and that you adequately load your carbohydrate, super compensate, that you'll see the results. That's what your muscles do. They store glycogen. That's what gives you your muscle density and size. And without that, you're not going to get very far. People who like to argue that point are almost always on anabolic steroids, or they're just genetic freaks. They would probably be 20 pounds heavier if they ate carbohydrates and look even more solid and muscular. So it's not all about hormones and baseline averages. Most of what you see as far as appearance is about hitting a very ultra lean state or stage, and then being able to go through that over and over again and glycogen load to where you're pumping up. You can use supplements that kind of help you with that nitric oxide, but I'll be doing that in the months to come. I just started on this prescriptive plan right here, where it's 100% based on showing lean body mass, going for HD definition, and I'm not anywhere near that right now. But I didn't really know if I could get there until recently, until I was able to hit around 170 pounds. I've since gained a few pounds back, but it's only because I go on and off with my loads a little more frequently. Well, that's what this week is all about. This week is all about depletion. It's all about pacing all week. I'm going to be doing this all week and see what the end result is. I've already gotten 5 miles today. I did 6.5 miles yesterday, and I'm going to be doing this all week. So it really isn't, as I said in prior videos, it's really not as monotonous or boring or tedious as you might think. I'm able to have a conversation. I'm able to think. I get my blood flow going. I'm in a heightened sense of alertness, but I don't feel reactive yet. Near the end of the week, it's going to feel like I'm on some sort of drug or something as I get more and more depleted, hitting that rock bottom stage, running out of turkey and just sticking with, because I only have like 3 more days, including tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. So what is it today? I think it's Wednesday today? So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. So I'll be doing this until next Tuesday, until my next water order came in. You always want to stay up on your water. You always want to keep high quality protein around. It's not as expensive as you think, but if you are just trying to, eat like your traditional food pyramid type meals, 3 meals a day of a balance between carbohydrates, fat, and proteins, but you feel like you're not getting anywhere, well, you ought to look into intermittent fasting, doing the carnivore, and then slowly, if you start to see those results, you can kind of play with what I'm doing. These programs, I'm calling it a program for me, that I made a program out for myself, is very specific to slow wave sleep cycle. It's mediated through your insulin response, and it has a lot to do with, even though we talk about depletion, it has more to do with supercompensation or taking in really high quality forms of carbohydrates, glycogen. So that's where day one really starts. Day one really starts with when was the last day of your full carbo load, to where you go into your first day of carbohydrate depletion, all protein, feeling like $1 million. And your body's just tapping into all that energy. And the more you do, it seems like the more you get this euphoric feeling, and the more you have to do, you can do, and you're building momentum. In this society, everything is trying to cost you momentum. Your momentum force is the most important thing that you can possibly maintain and try to hold on for dear life.